Hello. It's been a while. It's been a good while. I didn't want to do this video. No one's forcing me to do it. I just don't want to do it. But it's come to my attention that since, and it's about Doctor Who. I'm going to put a title on there that sort of explains everything. I'm getting increasingly frustrated with a number of people who are talking about Doctor Who's casting of Jodie Whittaker. I know it's old news, I realise that, long time ago. But people who are sort of determined and want to sort of see the show fail because of this casting choice. Now, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. In fact, I've always thought a woman in the role would be an interesting thing to do, and I still do. Yeah. And I've had my own choices over the years. But one of the problems that seems to have reared its ugly head is this idea of the SJW sort of third wave feminist pandering agenda that apparently the BBC are indulging in. And they're not, frankly. It's very much, I feel it's very much an American concern, or more accurately a non-British concern, where in certain areas, Star Wars, Star Trek, superhero comics, Marvel Universe, Cinematic Universe, and all that sort of thing, they are, there seems to be this sort of trend towards making men look stupid and women look brilliant, and for some reason this is causing a problem for some people. Now let's get one thing absolutely straight here for a minute. Now I think all men are stupid and I think all women are brilliant. No, actually, that's a generalisation. I don't think all women are brilliant. I think some women are brilliant. I think some men are brilliant. But I don't think that all women are brilliant. I don't think all men are brilliant. I think there's some very stupid men out there who, and there's a word that's being used for this as well. It's misandry. It's opposite of misogyny. Misandry. You are misandrous if you say anything that's derogatory towards men, because men have a hell of a time of it, I'm sure, especially white men. You know, we're the underdogs, we're the downtrodden, absolutely, 100%. And it's just madness. Jodie Whittaker's casting was a stroke of genius, as far as I'm concerned. It's reinvigorated interest in the show. It's done what it needs to do. It's made it absolutely, a talking point. People are interested. People are excited, and it's generating a lot of maybe not mainstream news, but certainly a lot of internet traffic, if you like. But I mean, one of the accusations that the BBC has, and Cristiano has, is that there's this kind of pandering going on to SJWs. And if you don't know what an SJW is, it's a derogatory term, allegedly, for social justice warrior. And I kind of think, well, this is people who are actively campaigning for better conditions for the marginalised in society, or the perceived marginalised in society. And somehow this is a bad thing now. The phrase that's being used there is virtue signalling. They're just virtue signalling. That's all it is, virtue signalling. They're not affected by this thing, therefore it's virtue signalling. No, it's common human decency. Surely, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, is being nice and kind and respectful to each other now to be utterly derided by idiots? It would seem so. It would seem so. But that's, it's there. But this ignores that the fact that one of the reasons why people are objecting to this is that there are positions that are in various workplaces, and there's BBC. Let's talk about the BBC specifically because they made Doctor Who, and in the BBC there is a what's the word I'm looking for? A policy. There's a policy of having diverse range of different religions and creeds and genders and sexualities and whatever working within the BBC. Now this causes its own set of problems because it actually transpires that the BBC is over-representing now rather than accurate. So it either under-represents or it over-represents, but actually it doesn't really matter one way. The over-representation of it isn't really a big issue for me, but the whole thing is that it's and so the worry is that the white man, the straight white man, is going to be pushed out. They're going to lose their jobs to a gay black woman or whatever. And that's nonsense. Because the world doesn't work like that. The world's never worked like that. If someone leaves a position for whatever reason, whether they've decided to move on, or they've got a promotion, or they've been fired, maybe, I don't know. As long as they've been fired for the right reasons, that is. So if they've been a complete utter waste of oxygen for the last 2 years at work, get rid. And you then open the position up to everybody, so everybody gets an equal chance of getting the job, and that's fair. That's fair. That's right. That's fair. But some notices have been put out of joint, and before I make my further point, I will say that anybody who is using this as an excuse to say it shouldn't happen, and they haven't lost their job to somebody else that doesn't look to somebody else who doesn't look like them in any way, they're virtue signalling as well. I'm just going to point that out. But so the world doesn't work like that, and I mean, for true equality to work, you need a level playing field. That's obvious. You need a level playing field. So and some notices are going to be put out of joint. That's going to happen. There's always going to be a few left by the wayside when it comes to progress. Always has been, will always happen. Pardon me. But the sort of ire that is being sort of used to express this the dissatisfaction of this position is just mad. Frankly, it's utterly insane. So I don't know. I mean I'm befuddled by the whole thing. Frankly, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. I don't get it. I don't see why it's a problem. Genuinely, I don't see why it's a problem. And I don't think it is a problem. Not a major one anyway. Not enough to get upset about. So it's I've not really thought this through properly, but I'm just sort of. It's odd. It's very strange that being nice and considerate and decent to one another as human beings is now somehow seen as a bad thing. And looking after number one, or looking after your own, to use a rather unpopular phrase, is considered to be the done thing, and that's not really right. And the other thing is that as I say, British television has always been strive for diversity. It's not always been successful, but it's always strive for diversity. It's always for as long as I can remember. So I don't see it as being a major issue when it comes to Doctor Who. No, and let's talk about the characters of Ryan and Yasmin as well, because one of the other things they say, this is forced diversity. You've got a black character and you've got a character of Indian origin, and you've got a woman in the role, and you've got Bradley Walsh, and you've got whatever. And they say that this isn't realistic, this isn't real life. And I'm there thinking, well, of course it's real life. When I go down the pub, I'm friends with, on Facebook as well, I'm friends with lots of different people. Very proud to be. I'm an atheist, but I've got Muslim friends, I've got Christian friends. I don't know if I've got any Jewish friends, but if I have, then they just haven't mentioned it to me. And I've got those as well. Hindu friends, Sikh friends. Friends whose sort of country of origin is China, and black friends and Indian friends and women, gay people. I'm friends with people, and that's how the world works. People get on with each other and people hang out with each other regardless of what they look like, and that's how that works. That's how it works where I live in the UK anyway. I'm sure there are parts of the UK where it's slightly, I know there are parts of the UK where it's slightly less diverse, but generally speaking, the UK especially is very, very diverse. And the casting of Tosin Cole and Mandip Gill has, shows that, frankly, and shows it well. Now, are there going to be stories based around their sort of original sort of their ethnic backgrounds? Probably. As I say, I didn't say it, did I? Mallory Blackman, the children's laureate, she's writing a story for Doctor Who, and I strongly suspect it's going to be the one involving Rosa Parks. I don't know, but I would suspect that if you've got a writer of that calibre and you want to write the story of Rosa Parks, it just makes perfect sense. But that might necessarily be the case. But I don't see how that, that's fine. And there's a, because Mallory Blackman's black. And Vinay Patel, who did a Murdered by My Father, I think it was called. He wrote that, and he's doing a story. I don't know what sort of story he's doing, but I would be very surprised if he's not somehow exploring Indian culture in a similar way with the character of Yasmin. So I think that might be it. Might be the Indian thing in 1947. Might be dealing with that in some way. I don't know how they do it in the family show, because it's quite a horrific period in history, but that might be something that they might be doing. I don't know. Just off the top of my head, really, that one. So, but again, it's not a question of it being politically correct. It's not a question of it being, third way, sort of left wing, although most creative people are generally left wing. It's more a question of, being representative of Britain. And people, again, you get people saying, "Oh, well, it's an international show now. It shouldn't necessarily." But no, it's a British show. It's made by the British Broadcasting Corporation for the British public, because the British public pay for it through the TV license. And although they don't have to now, there are certain conditions now where that's not necessary. But if you're watching BBC television live, or within 24 hours, I think it is, on iPlayer, you have to have a TV license, really. But there we are. That's that. So what was I saying? Yeah. So it's very Britishness is what makes it interesting to, I would imagine, to America, and what makes it stand out. Because it isn't Superman, it's not Star Wars, it's not the X-Files, it's not anything that sort of, it's not Star Trek, it's nothing like that. It's completely a different thing. So I've not really thought this out, but I was utterly, very, very frustrated with watching videos, and I draw myself to blame for watching them in the first place, I suppose, but watching them and just thinking, what planet are they on? This it's a positive step. It's a positive step. I don't mean politically or whatever it is. It's a positive step for the show because it opens the role up to other people, not just your white man, but your white woman, and hopefully your black man and black woman and whatever other nationality. A list of actors I would like to see in the role of the Doctor at some point, just to sort of show where I'm coming from with this. So let's start down the lady route. Linda Henry, who plays Shirley in EastEnders, I think she'd be brilliant. I think she'd be superb. She would be like that sort of a Joan Hickson as Miss Marple kind of, sort of inquisitiveness and sort of bird-like action thing. I think that's how personally I would like to see her play it if she ever did it. But there are actors like Sinatra Sarkar, who was in Toby Whithouse's No Angels, but also been in Casualty, I think it is. Diane Parrish, Diane Parrish, who plays Denise in EastEnders. I think she's got an interesting quality about her that I think would be very interesting in that. And even someone like Liz Carr, who's an actor who's in Silent Witness. I don't remember the character's name, but the actress herself has got quite I think it's a degenerative wasting disorder. And so she's in a wheelchair quite a lot, but I'd quite like to see her in the role because that would make an interesting dynamic, and we can make the companions more active for the Doctor, and that would make an interesting sort of idea. But there would need to be something would need to go wrong with the regeneration essentially for that to happen. I don't think it would need to be. Yeah. But Daniel Kaluuya, I would like to see in the role. I think he's probably onto bigger and better things now. Himesh Patel, who again was in EastEnders, played Tamara in EastEnders, but was also in the Alan Davis and Joe Brand comedy Damned. He's brilliant in that, frankly. Abdul Salis, who was in Love Actually and was also in Doctor Who, was in Fear Her. He played the tarmacker in that. Sacha Darwin. Very, very happy to see him in the role. But I'm not limiting it to sort of politically correct choices. I'm going to go with. Love to see Bern Gorman in the role. I know he played Owen Harper in Torchwood, but Bern Gorman as the Doctor, come on, that's just absolutely going to be great casting. Mackenzie Crook, I've always said, would be, superb. And even Chris Marshall, whose name was touted quite heavily, before Jodie Whittaker was announced. I think he could do a good job of it as well. And maybe someone who's slightly older, but not really known for that, but could probably do something. I think Neil Morrissey. You might laugh at that because he's not really known for his straight roles, but I think Neil Morrissey would be a very interesting choice. So yeah, no, I mean I'm happy for, but the thing is that it opens it up, and that's the point of casting Jodie Whittaker in the role. If they wanted to make a political statement, they would have cast, as like Diane Parrish, for example, or what's her name, Reiki Aola, is it? Is that her name? I can't remember her proper full name. But she played the hostess in Midnight, and I've seen her in a few other things, but she's absolutely brilliant. And I think she'd be an interesting choice as well. So yeah, but I'm not saying cast them because they are of a particular type or whatever. Cast them because they're interesting. Cast them because they're good. Cast them because they would bring something new and fresh to the role. That's why you cast someone, and that's why they cast Jodie Whittaker. So I'm going to sign off. I will say this though. I'll admit to being sort of SJW, in as much as I support Jodie Whittaker. Okay, right. That's that bit of a rant over, on longer than I thought it would, although it's not particularly well thought out as an argument, perhaps, and nor as a video. But that's my that's my 2 penneth on it. So, okay, well, hopefully I'll do another video before too long, because last time that's what I did was a couple of months ago at least. All right, so I'll see you soon, or you'll see me soon, and look after yourselves. All right, ta-da.